Why hasn't God wiped out Satan yet? God is pure, just, and loathes all evil. So why does his greatest adversary still walk the earth? The Almighty could banish him with a single decree, yet he refrains. What's the reason? We'll uncover the answer today. From the dawn of creation, the presence of Satan challenges our grasp of divine power and righteousness. If God is omnipotent, able to do anything, and infinitely good, why doesn't he immediately eliminate the source of all wickedness? This isn't merely an intellectual puzzle. It strikes at the very core of faith. How do we reconcile ongoing suffering with a God who loves, guards, and rules the cosmos? First, it's vital to recognize that Satan did not begin as God's enemy. He was fashioned as Lucifer, literally light-bearer. Adorned with unmatched splendor and endowed with exceptional wisdom, he stood closest to God's throne, guiding heavenly worship. Yet pride took root in his heart. Seeing his own magnificence, he yearned to rival the Creator and receive worship for himself. That desire to exalt himself above God broke the fundamental purpose of a creature: to reflect, not compete with, the divine. By choosing rebellion, Lucifer sealed his fate, not because God lacked the power to stop him, but because the choice was his own. When Lucifer drew 1/3 of the angelic hosts into his revolt, a celestial conflict ensued, one whose outcome was foreordained. The archangel Michael, obeying God's command, expelled Lucifer and his followers. However, rather than destroying them instantly, God reserved their final judgment for a decisive future day. That delay serves profound purposes: safeguarding free will. Instant eradication would nullify the gift of choice God bestowed. Without freedom, genuine love cannot exist. Public declaration of justice. God's righteousness demands an open verdict, demonstrating innocence or guilt before all creation. Redemptive plan. Even the presence of evil within divinely appointed limits advances the work of redemption for those who trust him. In the following sections, we will examine in detail: 1. Lucifer's fall. 2. The heavenly battle and expulsion. 3. The difference between fallen angels and demons. And 4. Why God patiently postpones their final doom. Chapter 1. Lucifer's origin and fall. The name Lucifer, morning star in Hebrew, reflects his initial perfection. Created in unparalleled beauty and wisdom, he served as the foremost cherub, entrusted with leading heavenly praise. No hint of evil marred him. His very essence mirrored God's glory. Yet within him sprouted a dangerous impulse. I will ascend to the heights. I will make myself like the Most High. That craving for supremacy, fueled by admiration, birthed pride, the root of all sin. Scripture alludes to this in Ezekiel 28:12 through 17, though addressed to Tyre's king, clearly pointing to Lucifer. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty. This inner corruption shows that external radiance alone doesn't guarantee purity. By aspiring to occupy God's throne, Lucifer rejected his role as a creature and broke the unspoken covenant of submission that sustained heavenly harmony. His downfall was not a single act, but a gradual descent fueled by vanity and self-interest. Ezekiel's lament underscores a broader truth. Evil originates in the heart. When a being willingly inverts God's order, placing personal will above the Creator's, the breach becomes irreparable. Thus, the celestial conflict wasn't merely symbolic, but a profound spiritual rupture. One party chose eternal separation from its source of life. Chapter 2. the heavenly battle and expulsion. Lucifer's rebellion sparked a cosmic confrontation. Revelation 12:7-9 recounts. War broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. Michael, whose name means "who is like God," embodies divine fidelity and strength. Leading the loyal angels, he overpowered the dragon, Lucifer, and cast him and his legion out of heaven. Though a vast host followed Satan, approximately 1/3 of all angels, none could match the Creator's might, so their defeat was certain. But expulsion did not end the struggle. It merely shifted its arena to earth. There, the consequences of rebellion became visible. Deceit, temptation, and spiritual oppression took root among humanity under the influence of the fallen. It's crucial to distinguish two categories: fallen angels, once heaven's inhabitants, structured and organized, who retain intelligence and hierarchy, principalities, powers, rulers. Demons, disembodied evil spirits, often linked to occult practices that infest individuals and cause afflictions. While demons assault individuals, fallen angels seek to distort societies, ideologies, and institutions, operating under Satan, the prince of this world. John 12:31. As a result, the spiritual struggle transcends personal battles, involving entire nations within a cosmic framework governed by spiritual laws. Michael's victory demonstrates that God's triumph doesn't require his direct intervention at every moment. Obedience by his servants suffices. The decisive heavenly defeat merely set the stage for the eventual comprehensive subjugation of all evil. Chapter 3. Fallen Angels versus Demons. In common parlance, people often conflate fallen angels with demons, yet Scripture delineates clear distinctions. Fallen angels. Origin. Originally created for divine service, once part of heaven's assembly. Nature retained form, order, and intelligence, organized in ranks. Function. Manipulate cultural, political, and religious systems toward corrupt ends. Demons. Origin, spiritual entities resulting from angelic rebellion or from occult transgressions. The exact origin is less defined in Scripture. Nature, disembodied spirits, volatile and malevolent. Function, inhabit people and animals to produce possession, illness, and chaos. Paul warns in Ephesians 6:12, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, authorities, and cosmic powers of this present darkness." Here, he highlights that the true conflict involves these organized spiritual forces. Fallen angels pursue broad strategies, aiming to influence societies at large, whereas demons focus on individuals. Satan, as supreme strategist, orchestrates both. Recognizing these roles informs our spiritual response. We confront demonic attacks through authoritative prayer and address systemic evil by proclaiming biblical truth and exercising faith. Chapter 4. Why God Delays Judgment. If God could obliterate Satan instantly, why doesn't he? Several theological reasons explain his forbearance, free will as the basis of love. God desires genuine devotion, not robotic obedience. Removing choice would negate the gift of relationship. Universal vindication of justice. At the final tribunal, every being will witness the verdict, affirming God's perfect righteousness beyond question. Spiritual refinement. Enduring trials strengthens faith, producing maturity and discernment, like gold refined by fire. Redemptive purposes. Even evil schemes serve God's overarching plan. For instance, Jesus' temptation proved his authority, and Judas's betrayal fulfilled the necessity of the cross. Demonstration of sovereignty. God acts purposefully, not impulsively. His ultimate triumph will be revealed through redemption, not mere annihilation. Thus, divine patience manifests love, justice, and wisdom. It doesn't signal weakness, but reflects God's meticulous guidance of history, ensuring every event fulfills his eternal design. Reflecting on why Satan and his followers remain reveals a deeper reality. In his sovereignty, God orchestrates events to express his nature and accomplish his redemptive plan. He is neither beholden to circumstances nor driven by caprice. His patience is a profound act of love that preserves choice, upholds justice, and refines faith. The decisive victory occurred when Christ triumphed on the cross, defeating sin and death. Satan remains active only until the appointed day of final judgment, when every creature will stand before the throne. Then, the ancient dragon will be cast into the lake of fire, and evil will be eradicated forever. Meanwhile, we are called to stand firm in faith, equipped with spiritual armor, Ephesians 6, and wielding God's truth. Every challenge stemming from fallen spirits refines our character and deepens our witness. We participate in God's triumph by resisting the devil, praying without ceasing, and proclaiming the gospel. Ultimately, this understanding urges us to live with confident hope. We await the culmination of God's work, knowing He who began a good work in us will bring it to completion. Let us, therefore, persevere, encourage one another, and anticipate with joy the day when justice prevails and love reigns eternally.